and it has been a game changer for me. It's so much better because I don't have that head hunger talking to me, telling me that Hey y'all, it is Kandi. Thanks for joining me today. I am going to be doing something a little bit different. I received an email and I wanted to go ahead and instead of answering back through the email, I thought other people may have the same questions. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little video reply for one of my subscribers named Elba. So Elba did email me the other day, and I'm just going to read you the email real quick. It says, Kandi, thanks for the videos and the good advice. I saw your video with Dave and I wanted to thank you for sharing your story. So I want to ask you about the fermented foods because I've been following Dr. O'Mara for quite a while and I'm not sure how much fermented foods I need to eat. I'm also doing a carnivore diet, but I'm still fighting with the sweet cravings. So the longest I have done carnivore without interruption is 3 weeks. I have a problem with my digestive system and I started drinking kefir every day, which has helped me a lot. I would like to know what other fermented foods I can eat. Thank you in advance for your response. Sincerely, Elba. Well, Elba, thank you so much for reaching out to me through email. I always love reading everybody's emails and assisting and helping anybody any way I can. Congratulations on your carnivore journey. I know it's not always easy, so I did want to go over the fermented foods that I talked about in my video, and I'll show you a little example of how much I eat so you can kind of get a visual with that. So here is a little example of the ferments that I have going on right now in my refrigerator. There is such a variety of ferments that you can buy. I do like the company Physiology, and these I get online. The company All of My Pickle, I get this one online as well. So let's go over a little bit of what each one is. So what I have here is some ginger carrots, German sauerkraut. I have some fermented chili sauce. So those of you who like Tabasco sauce, you can do the fermented chili sauce, which is wonderful. This is another type of hot sauce that I had bought from All of My Pickle, and it is a probiotic hot sauce, but it's yellow. This one's pretty spicy. So this one I got in store. I think I might have got it at Albertsons, and that is a fermented sauerkraut. This one is from Physiology, and it's seasonal ferments. It has everything in it from apples to beets to cabbage. And I don't know if any of y'all have heard of curtido, and people eat that on pupusas. I love the curtido, so I found some fermented curtido from Physiology. From All of My Pickle, I got some hot and spicy sauerkraut. All of My Pickle also has fermented pickles. Not all pickles are fermented. Most of them are just in vinegar. So whenever you're looking for a fermented food, you need to make sure it says fermented. And then I also did get some live brine from All of My Pickle, and this is just a pickle juice. Now there is some dairy that's fermented. I do not do the kefir right now. I do not do the yogurt right now. The only fermented dairy I have is going to be this blue cheese. So blue cheese is a good choice. Roquefort, Gouda, things like that is a good choice for fermented dairy. Also, I don't know if you guys know, but apple cider vinegar with the mother is fermented. So you can see when you buy it with the mother, it has that sediment on the bottom, and when you shake it up, it kind of goes all over. So the apple cider vinegar is a great choice. When you drink your water daily, you can just put a couple drops of the apple cider vinegar into your water, and that will give you some ferments throughout the day. So I hate the taste of doing an apple cider vinegar shot, but when I do just a couple drops of the apple cider vinegar into my water and mix it up, then I cannot taste that it has apple cider vinegar in it at all. Now, some of you may be wondering why, if I'm doing a carnivore diet, am I also doing some fermented foods? There are many benefits from eating fermented foods. One of them is going to be healthy digestion. Another healthy benefit is it's going to reduce inflammation. And I know I have a ton of inflammation in my body, so I can use all the help I can get by reducing it even further. And have you heard of leaky gut? So one thing that ferments do is it helps strengthen that gut wall to prevent or heal the leaky gut. So I did go over the fermented foods with Dr. O'Mara when I met him. And one of the questions that I had was if the foods have to be different. So as you can see, there's a lot of these foods that have cabbage in them. You can always find a lot of cabbage that is fermented. And he said, no, what you want to do is you want to collect the ferments from different areas. So anytime you may go on a vacation, if there is a local farmer's market that may have local ferments in it, you can get some of those, and that would have the bacterias and the good stuff from that region. So the more you can collect from different places, the better off you are, because you're going to have a diverse microbiome at that point. I did ask Dr. O'Mara as well if it had to be different types of bacteria. So when you read these ferments and it lists the type of bacteria that's in each one, you'll see there's a lot of repeats. So he said no. Again, he just suggested to get a variety of foods from different regions. So I will not only order it online, but if I can find some organic foods and ferment them myself, I'll do that too. I have done it several times. I actually have a video showing how I fermented foods in a vacuum sealed bag, and I'll link that one right here. My favorite one that I've fermented so far was a mixture of cauliflower and broccoli and garlic, and I put some red pepper in it. It was pretty spicy, so it was like a gardenia mix, I think is what you call it. It was so good. I love fermented cauliflower that's spicy. That one is a good one, and I'm going to be doing that one again. So let me go ahead and show you what it looks like on my plate when I get a variety of ferments. So I'm not going to put all of these on my plate at one time. Just because you have 20 different types of ferments or 10 different types of ferments doesn't mean that you have to put them all on your plate at one time. You can rotate them because you want to do it, make sure you get all of them in, during the week, but you don't have to do all of them at one time. So this one is not open yet, so I'm not going to do that one, and this sauerkraut's not open yet either. So when I have a fermented brine, I just do a little shot of it. You don't need to do too much of all of these, so we're just going to do a teeny tiny bit, and I'll show you what it looks like. Some people may not like ferments, and that's okay. You can just start out by taking your fermented foods and dipping your finger in it a little bit and putting it on your tongue, and that's going to introduce your taste buds to these ferments, and it's still going to get some of that bacteria into you, even if it's just a little tiny drop of it. So remember, I will be eating the ferment with my meat. I do take the ferments to work, and I just include them all into one container. I don't care if they get mixed up, because all I'm going to do is take a little bite of each of them with my food. And you're going to treat it as a garnish. So it's not going to be like a full side that some people think they may need. It's just going to be treated like a garnish. So these pickles, they do come whole. And I am going to just cut a little piece off, because I am not going to eat the whole pickle. And then with these ferments, once you're done eating the vegetables and that brine is still left, that brine is fermented too. So you can do the shots just like I did with my fermented brine sauce that I bought. You can just do shots of the leftover brine. When you're going to be fasting and you're not going to be eating for a while, what you can do is just put like a little bit of the brine juice into your water, and that will give you the bacteria throughout the day when you are fasting, and it will not break your fast. There's no calories or anything, and you're not going to be eating the actual food. It's just the brine. So you just want to have a little bit of ferments with every single bite of meat. Chew them up together and let them digest together. All right, so that's going to be what it looks like. I eat just a little bit of my ferments with each bite of meat. I don't have a lot of meat that I eat at one time, so I don't need a whole bunch, just a little bit to get me through that meat. And this is going to be basically what my portion of fermented foods looks like. So if you added it all together, just probably a couple tablespoons of fermented foods. All right, Elba, you also mentioned that you were drinking some kefir. Make sure that the kefir that you buy is not the sweetened kind. They have some really good flavored kefir that I've had from Sprouts that has the blueberry or the strawberry flavor. That's not the kind you want. You want the plain with no sweetener. So make sure your kefir is unsweetened. If you start implementing more and more ferments, that should help with your digestive issues. Just need a little bit, not too much. You can always start out, like I said, just by taking a little taste and putting it in your mouth. The apple cider vinegar is a great way to get some in throughout the day. Just start with what you have, and you can always build up as you gather more fermented foods. But one thing you need to make sure is that everything that you buy is fermented, because you're going to have a variety of options, and sometimes they're right next to each other that are the same name brand. One's fermented and one's not. So for example, there's this name brand called Bubby's, and I can buy it at Sprouts, and they have, I think, pickles, and then they have also this spicy sauerkraut, and their spicy sauerkraut is delicious. It is fermented, but the pickles that are right next to it were not fermented. So be very careful. Don't think because it's the same name brand that it's both are going to be fermented. It's not always the way that it works. So you also mentioned that you are having sweet cravings still, and I can relate to that. I am a total sweetaholic. I'm addicted to the sugars. I love it. And I never really got rid of my sweet cravings until I cut the artificial sweeteners. So if you are having artificial sweeteners still, I would suggest to cut them out, because it's going to be huge. You don't realize what it's really going to do to you. I had lied to myself for so long, telling myself that the artificial sweeteners did not affect me. I had taken my Keto Mojo and tested my glucose and my ketones before and after consuming something with artificial sweetener, and my glucose did not change. My ketosis was not affected. So I lied to myself and just thought that it wasn't affecting me, but I never got rid of the sweet cravings until I gave up the sweeteners in July of this year. And it has been a game changer for me. It's so much better because I don't have that head hunger talking to me, telling me that I need the cookies or the crackers or the breads or the pastries, anything like that, donuts, like you name it, it's at my work, and I'm not craving that stuff anymore. I feel so strong when we have potlucks. I just bring my meat and that's what I eat, and I'm not worried about anything else. I used to feel like maybe I was going to miss out on something if we got a free lunch and I didn't partake. Now I don't care, because I know my health is worth more than that. When you eat enough of that protein and fat and you give up those sugars, you should really start seeing a difference in your sugar cravings. So Elba, I hope this answers your question and it helps anybody else out there that may be wondering the same thing. So if y'all have any other questions or wondering about anything at all, whether it's regarding my SMA that I have, or Carnivore, or fermented foods, or my meeting with Dr. Sean O'Mara, anything, doesn't matter. You can always shoot me an email. That is going to be in the video description below. So I hope this video finds y'all in good health. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stop eating processed foods.